What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a good Friday. It's a weird slate, to say the least. I really haven't touched my build since earlier because I just got back. Going to try to figure this out. It's been a rough DFS week, but the good news is this is my last day of my 5-day cleanse, so I haven't eaten anything in 5 days. So hopefully, it'll turn around the DFS results tonight. Anyway, all right, let's get into it. It's a pretty straightforward, slate in terms of it's easy to spend up and you have tons of value. But when you have all this value, but yet you don't have anybody like that you're crazy excited to spend up for. I mean, the highest projected players on the slate being Levine, Sabonis, and Vooch just is kind of shocking to see. I think Sabonis, I like all those guys. I like Sabonis especially, but it does feel like kind of a weird slate in that way. I think that we can take some chances on some other spend ups, because what I've got is I think you're playing 3 minimum from Indy. I just think that's too good of a spot. I'll rank them in terms of my favorites. I guess it depends on what else you're going to do, but I think that look, they're all extremely in play. Nembhard, let's see who they start. That's going to determine the Jalen Smith, O'Shea Brissett, Isaiah Jackson thing. Who's ever starting, I'm pretty inclined to roll with of those big guys. And if 2 of them are starting, I would probably have Smith ahead of Jackson, but it's pretty close. But we'll see who's starting. And the same thing with Matherin. So I guess you're taking like one of the front court guys, whichever ones are starting, and then you have both McConnell and Nembhard. I still think are extremely strong plays, followed by Matherin and then Hield. But I actually like Hield, and he's all the way down there. Your punt play is going to be Chris Duarte from that game. Just there's always a chance that he gets more run here, and it's a situation where I could see that happening and sort of busting some of the other stuff. He did play 16 minutes in the last game after Halliburton, some of it with Halliburton hurt. There's nothing exciting, but it's just about who can create shots and who can score. Atlanta's still only a 3-point favorite in this game, so I think they're still a 3-point favorite. So I think we still want to get pieces of, as many pieces as you can. I think that's one logical way to go, is you just stack up the first game with Trae Young too on the other side and a Kongwu, and boom, you're in business. And I think that's an absolutely viable route to go. However, there's some good things later on that I think we might want to get into. Like the Jamal Murray thing is somebody I definitely will be overweight on. I don't really understand the projection for Michael Porter Jr. here. I understand that he's not quite gotten the minutes that everybody wants and expects. But I think that Michael Porter Jr. is a really, really like elite level tournament play, especially because, and again, you can play those 2 guys with Kawhi on the other side, get a little mini stack that way. I'm not in love with the DeAndre Jordan thing. I'm just not going to do it. I don't really have a whole lot to, first of all, he doesn't need to play big. He is going back to LA, so maybe they give him some extra run. We just don't get the minutes out of him ever, even when Jokic was out earlier in the season. So I'm probably off of that part of it, although it does allow you to do a late stack, and that allows you some swappability. But I think the main thing is 3 guys from Indy. You're playing somebody from Denver. I have it rated Jamal Murray, Porter, and then Gordon in that order. I like Terrence Mann, and I like Powell as a pivot on for the Clippers to run back, or if you want to play Kawhi, I have no problem because we have all this money to spend tonight. I also like the idea of trying to get some sort of a stack in with the Houston-Sacramento game, even if it just means playing like a Şengün and Sabonis, which unfortunately locks up your center spots, but then you could play Jalen Green and Sabonis. I think that makes some sense on this slate. Fire in questions, guys, because we're going to finish running through this pretty quickly. I think that, I'm not really interested in stacking up the Bulls game on the back-to-back for OKC, but I would play Vucevic, and I have them split right now, Vucevic or Levine, but I think you can definitely play those 2 guys together. Not really getting to much in the other games. Golden State, San Antonio feels like we should have some interest in San Antonio, and I think we probably would on other slates. I just don't get there. Phoenix, Minnesota, sort of the same deal. Other slates, I would definitely have a lot of interest, but not this one. I do like Detroit tonight, and I feel like they're being overlooked. So I might try to force in one of the plays from Detroit as a priority to go with the Indy value and everything. And it's not really for value. It's just that Killian Hayes, Jaden Ivey, Sadiq Bey, Bogdanovich, they're all really in decent spots. And I kind of want to take my shots there. So I'm open to playing some of those guys. Orlando and Utah couldn't get to anything. Chicago, I mentioned Chicago, and then so basically it's like using the early value with mini stacking the late games is my strategy to everybody. It is my strategy on this slate. Not going to have time to change my preferred priority plays. This all happens in NBA. Other sports end up leaving lineups a lot similar, but yeah. Anyway. Anyway, so anyway, so guys, please fire any questions or thoughts. I'm happy to go over everything, but that's sort of my rundown of what I'm doing today is the later games, even forcing some uncomfortableness in, or the early game stack with Indy and Atlanta. I think both are very viable. So, but I like getting at least 3 pieces of Indiana as a priority. I think Detroit, I like to get somebody probably going to be, why can't I think of his name right now? Now that I scrolled away from him, Killian Hayes, somebody like or Sadiq Bey. And then you have the Vooch, Levine, and Murray, Sabonis as other priorities. But I think you don't want to use all of it together because it's just a little too chalky. Wow, this is a really, really uneventful Friday crowd. Nobody, no questions, no thoughts, no anything. Come on, guys, help me out here. I'm flying solo. If we're not gonna get anything going here, we might just have to get out of here, and I have to go build my lineups. So let's ask some questions. Delon Wright, another guy who crossed my list. So it's just how do you weigh him versus the other value? I have him as much worse. First of all, let's see if he's starting. You may see Jordan Goodwin start. That's completely possible. So Delon Wright and Jordan Goodwin kind of eat into each other a little bit. Like they're fine. I'm just not overly excited about it. Delon Wright I have in the same range as Jordan, a little bit worse than Mann, close with Mann. Tate, Deshaun Tate, KJ Martin, and Goodwin I have all in that same range of other value that I'll use if I have to. Oh, good. I'm glad I did all gems. Jalen Smith, absolutely. But let's wait for the starting lineup. You know what I mean? I think you should probably be looking more towards the starters there. You might see a weird starting lineup from Indy, so just be ready. But Jalen Smith, as of right now, assuming that he starts, yes, absolutely. Let's see. Who's my favorite spend up tonight? I don't know what that question means. Gumayashi or Duenbi? I'm totally confused, Adam. First time Adam confused me. Usually everybody else confused me, but Adam's always got stuff that makes sense to me. I have no idea what that means. So let me know again, Adam. I'm just curious. My spend ups are, I mentioned them, Sabonis, Vooch, Levine, but I feel like it's probably a good idea to get some Trey, run back that Indiana game. It's probably good to get some. Oh, I don't care about League of Legends. I've never looked at a League of Legends thing in my life, so I'm sorry. I'm not going to be any help there. I did see that Chan put out a video. Chan's the best in the business. He's your man for that. What else was I getting to? Oh, I think that, and then playing like a Jalen Green at a higher price than we're used to playing and hoping that game stays close, hoping he hits his shots and doesn't shoot 20% again. These are the kind of things we're looking at, right? So I really like the idea of trying to get those late game stacks. So even I'm going to end up forcing some Kawhi in, even though I don't love Kawhi at this price. It's hard to love anything at the very top, except for maybe Sabonis. Yeah, I got you, buddy. I got you. No problem. I appreciate any question. So I shouldn't just dismiss that one. But yeah, as you know, I'm not the League of Legends master. We've got a couple other guys who are really good with it. Anyway, so pop on in questions though. Pop on in thoughts. Again, I'm just going to end up telling you. I know I'm not. I am personally not very high on Sarich compared to the other value. I think he's reasonable. Let me say it. I don't want to say he's not high on him. I actually think Sarich is firmly in play. You know what? Let me change that, because I don't see why Sarich is that much worse than Terrence Mann. So I kind of like the idea of using some Sarich. I'm going to take it back and say that Sarich is okay with me. I think Julius Randle, this is a night where you can pay the 10-4 for him because it's just so easy to pay up, right? He's another one of those guys, but he's actually looking like he's going to get some ownership even too. Deciding between him and Sabonis, it's Sabonis for me. But I have no problem with Julius Randle at all in this matchup. He's been really good and has definitely earned his salary hike. So I'm okay with it. I know Barrett's back, so it's a little worse than it was, but I'm okay with Randle. If I was going to play Randle, though, I probably would want to play whichever guard is starting, DeLon Wright or Goodwin, just to use that value in that way. You know what I mean? Just try to get a little correlation. I think Nembhard and McConnell are fine in lineups, assuming they both start. If they don't both start, I think they're okay, but not great. That's my answer to the McConnell one. Any thoughts on Eric Gordon? I think you mean Aaron Gordon, Jolly. Eric Gordon does not get affected by the fact that Jokic is out. In fact, I don't really. Yeah, I think it's Aaron Gordon you're talking about. I have a little bit of interest in Aaron Gordon. I prefer Murray, but I do have a little bit of interest in Gordon. It's not overwhelming. It's not overly exciting, but I do have a little bit of interest. Smith and Brissett together. Depends on who's starting, MJ. We're going to keep answering that same question, unfortunately, because I don't have the starting lineup for Indiana, so I can't answer all of these things. But yes, theoretically, Smith and Brissett would be okay together, but I would like to see a starting lineup before I commit to that. Wrong Aaron. Spelled Aaron wrong there, Jolly. It's Aaron. But no problem. No problem, man. Okongwu, I think, is a strong play. Yeah, I think he's a stronger play even than he was earlier. I do like the idea of getting some run back in the Hawks because you're going to have so many Pacers. And I think you could play Trey, Okongwu, and then 3 or 4 Pacers. And actually, that's a reasonable tournament shot. Eric Gordon is not in play. There's too much other value. Even if Eric Gordon puts up 30, there's too many other guys who are cheaper that'll probably put up 30. Ben Gordon? Is this another question? Is this another trick? I feel like I'm being tricked here. Am I being pranked here by Adam again? DeAndre Jordan, again, he's much lower on my list than the other guys are. Oh, it's okay, Adam. I like the bad jokes. Me and Cheats were a bad joke friendly crowd. We like that, so that's fine. I know, man. I had to get back into it had been a rough period and traveling and everything, and then I was moving into a new place, so I just decided to go for it this week. 5 days, almost done. Really excited about it. Looking forward to eating something tomorrow. I like Ben. No, I know who Ben Gordon is. Ben Gordon, big NBA disappointment for me. When you watch this guy in college, you'd think that he was going to be an absolute stud. He just had a game that it was like a little. It's not Jamal Crawford because he's a better shooter and not as good a ball handler, but it felt like he was going to be something, and he never quite became something that we hoped he would be. So yeah, we keep getting the extra value slates, and unfortunately, this would have been nice last night when we had all those other guys to play. We could have prioritized Indy over Milwaukee and not played any Beauchamp, and we could have played the studs, and it would have been nice. Good point, Adam. He didn't play a whole lot of defense, did he? But he really offensively, there were nights where you watch him and he looked like, he took it to Kobe at times, I believe. He was like a real player. I thought he was going to be something, but something about it didn't quite work out. It's always hard as a small guard. You have to have such a killer mentality just to stay in the league. Anyway, all right, moving on to anything else, guys. Anything you want to talk about? I did post this week. I posted the NFL stuff for this week. I posted the me and Cheeks did a video, so check that out. I'm going to answer MJ's question, Caruso or Kobe. I'm not playing either of them. If I had to pick one, it would be Kobe White. And you're playing Kobe White. You're hoping for the 30 plus game. that value is just so much worse than the other value on the slate. It's just so hard to get to any of it for me. Could they have an outlier 40 fantasy point game? Sure. But you also have Dragic getting in the way. It's really just tough. I just don't think we need to do that. Game stacks I recommend are the two last games, the Clippers Nuggets and the Sacramento Houston, along with the Atlanta Indiana. Those are my three favorites. But it's hard because Indiana sort of naturally builds itself into a stack. So I think that's a reasonable route to go. I'm sure that if you look at Big T's lineup today, it'll probably be 2 guys from Atlanta and 5 guys from Indy. I would almost bet on $1 million on it. Like, I swear, unless he heard this somehow, I swear that's a winner. Keep firing on them in, guys. Nice to have a little back and forth. Adam, bring me another bad joke. I'm ready for anything. We got about 4 more minutes that we'll go for. And, yeah, happy to answer anything. Anything else from Rashad? Anything else from Green? J-Val. Okay, so I initially had some interest in J-Val. I think that's actually a good tournament play. Just be careful. I mean, the minutes haven't gone above 30 now. Well, they've been above 30 once in 28 games. He's played more than that. So he's only played 30 minutes twice this season. That's crazy. That is crazy. So I can't quite. I'm just not quite getting there. Is that right? That's nuts. Oh, yeah, no, there it is. 37, 31. So he's had 3 games this season over 30, and 3 of those were without Nance. Yikes. That seems like a risky one. I do like the matchup for what it's worth. I just don't know how much they're going to roll with him. That's the truth. Favorite plays for single entry. Been following these since the RG days. What's up, Timothy? Good to have you aboard here. Oh, my mouse just went out on me, so I'm going to plug that in and use my little scroller. My other one. A single entry is to say so. Single entry, I would say you're playing, the Nemhard. It depends on who starts for Indiana, but you're playing 3 guys from Indiana, I think, in a single entry minimum. And I really like. So in Nemhard, McConnell, if he starts, even if he doesn't, I think he's okay. But McConnell, Mathurin, 2 of the 3 between Nemhard, McConnell, Mathurin, 1 of Smith, Jackson, and Brissett minimum. Again, Jamal Murray, and then we get into 1 of Vucer, Levine, and then Sabonis is your other spend up or something. That's where I'm at. Mitrov looks better than what? Oh, than Joval? I don't think those are comparable, if that's what you mean. I don't know. Mitrov is all over the place. We just don't. It just feels like you're not playing Mitrov tonight. If you know what I mean. I mean, there's no way I'm playing Mitrov tonight. I'll tell you that. It's not that he can't get there. It's just that everything's all over the place with him. The minutes have been mostly there, but the production is really he needs to get a double-double to really get you there, or he needs like some sort of outlier block game, which this could be a game for it. So I guess for tournaments, that's okay. I think I answered most of those ones. How Isaiah Jackson doesn't. I can't answer that, Green, because we don't know if he's starting yet. We don't have a starting lineup from Indy, so I really can't answer it. What else do we have here? We already knew he was out. Okay, let's do this. So Tim, I told you I said using like Trae Young as a run back is it would be a lower owned option that you should consider using. I think that Steph Curry is getting lower ownership than he should. I'll be below the field on Vucevic and Levine. Jalen Green to pair with Sabonis in a game stack over there. Kawhi at mid to low ownership. No, the Wizards are. It's either right or Goodwin, whoever starts. That's where I'm at with them. I don't really have a lot of love for that personally. For the Wizards. But I think Bojan is okay. I do like all the Pistons. I did mention that. I think that using any 4 out of the 5 starting Pistons, not Noel, I'm not using him. but I would use Killian Hayes. I think Killian Hayes, Jaden Ivey, Sadiq Bey, and Bojan are all like solid plays. My slight lean goes to Killian, but because of the guard position so strong, I kind of like the idea of the Bojan. So I'm totally on board if you want to go with that. I think that's completely reasonable, especially they're going to need some shooting. And we know he's, scoring reliant, but it's nice to get him at home. You always want him at home if you can get him. Played well in the last game and got to the line, I believe, quite a bit, which is always nice to see. Has definitely been better in this role. So I'm good with the Bojan play. I totally am supportive of that. Anyway, guys, I appreciate all you guys. I'm going to get out of here and finish building my lineups. I will be in Discord as things come up, and maybe we can make some good decisions and win a bunch of money tonight. So good luck to everybody, and hope to see you at the top of the